This is Aesthetically Trained, the podcast. Pushing you to year-on-year progression. With your host, Ross McKinley.
Yo, Ross McKinley, Aesthetically Trained, the podcast. This is a special one. You're probably thinking, why the fuck are we wearing England tops and talking about England? But whether you like football or not, this podcast is about everything to do with men. So it's important that for the next month, starting on Friday the 11th of June, you know what the fuck is going on. And the Euros is going to be a massive event. And I thought, who better than to bring on than the person who loves football the most, gambles the most, and has without a doubt lost the most, my best friend. You've no doubt seen him being sick and on the drink of his Instagram, Mikey Hall. Welcome.
Right, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure, never a chore. You know that.
So, in this episode, we are going to cover everything about the Euros. So, whether you are a football fan or not, you're going to get our opinions. No doubt, some will absolutely fall flat on their face and be unbelievably shit. We're going to give you, most of them. We're going to give you our opinion on England. We're going to talk about the potential winners, dark horses. We're going to give you our gambling tips, not financial or gambling advice.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence. Do not gamble what you can't afford to lose. But we're going to talk about it anyway. We've had a few drinks. It's flowing. It's going to be great. As well, we're going to talk about player of the tournament. We're going to talk about top goal scorer, and we're going to give our predictions for England. All you need to do, stay tuned, listen, make sure you hit like, everything you know that you should do. Let's go. So we'll start with where everyone, no doubt, wants to know. England. Their group, when are they playing?
Yeah, it all kicks off this Sunday.
Sunday. What's the game on Sunday?
2 o'clock, Croatia, at Wembley, to be fair.
Right. We are wearing, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you will see we're wearing some fantastic England retro shirts. We'll be out in Newcastle wearing these on Sunday. It's a massive month for us, isn't it? Historically, me and Mikey have always went out for every England game forever during every major tournament. So it's a massive, massive event. For the people who don't know who England are playing already, who's in that group, mate? Who are they playing on Sunday?
Croatia, then Scotland, which is just going to be massive, to be fair.
Yeah.
I reckon that's going to win the game's tournament. Just so much riding on it.
Yeah, that's a huge game. And then also
The Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. So
Tuesday.
how this works, the Euros in terms of the football tournament that it is, there's 6 groups of 4 teams. And England's group is 4 teams, which is England, Croatia, Scotland, and Czech Republic. The other home nations, as you call them, although we won't talk much about that on this episode, you've got Wales, whose group is Italy, Turkey, and Switzerland, and then you've also got Scotland, who are also obviously fucking England's group. So I fucked that one up, didn't I? But that's the groups. 6 groups of 24 teams. The top 2 teams in each group go through, apart from in 4 groups where the best 3rd place team will qualify for the next
Terrible
round.
format, really.
It is not a good format. It means that for anyone watching or worrying about England, I can absolutely guarantee you, remortgage your house, England will at least get through to the last 16.
Not gambling. Not financial advice.
Because it is such a terrible format of football that you have countries like Macedonia, Hungary, and much even worse, lesser known nations who could potentially get through to the round of 16. So trust us, England will at least make it that far. Now the talking points, Mikey, in terms of England, where should we start?
Well, what do you think the lineup's going to be?
That is the big
First
one.
game Sunday. What's the crack? Who?
So the big talking point for England is the lineup in terms of who plays up front, what formation are they going to play? Are they going to play 3-5-2?
Yeah.
Are they going to potentially play 3 up front? It's definitely, for me, it's definitely going to be Harry Kane up front. And then you've got what's likely to happen, which is probably going to be shit, and probably going to be Southgate picking these people that he likes. And then there's what we would prefer. For me personally, I would probably play Kane, Grealish and Foden. But I do like Sancho as well, so maybe it's crossed over. I do like Sancho as well, but I think you've got to find a way to fit those players in the team. What would you go with?
Well, I would like to see them 2 start, but I reckon it'll probably be Kane, Rashford, Sterling, although he's had
We actually done as we did do, didn't we? Now Mikey, like I say, loves a bet, so he knows his stats already. I've done my research. Sterling did you know, and this is I want to give you some facts in this episode that you can take to the pub and you can give your mates on Sunday and throughout the tournament. And let me tell you that Sterling, in the last 4 seasons, has typically played around 30 to 35 games in the league.
You've definitely looked this up.
I tell you what, I'm not just looking it up, I've got it right in front of us, so I'm going to make sure that I repeat it properly. Sterling, the last 4 years in the league, in 2017, 2018, he played 33, he scored 18 with 11 assists, which isn't a bad return. In 2018, 2019, he got 17 goals and 10 assists, again pretty good. In the last season, not the most recent one, the one before that, he scored 20 goals in the league, which is fucking mint. You think Sterling, he's nailed on, he was good at the last World Cup, wasn't he, to be fair, he was decent in Russia. Last season though, and this is where it all falls apart, he played 31 games and he only scored 10 goals. For me, that's not good enough for him.
Well, they got dropped, to be fair.
He did.
Obviously Foden.
And Man City, you've got a great team, and also you've got Rashford. And these are for us, we think they're probably the 2 that are going to start.
I reckon he just trusts them, doesn't he? He does, he just trusts them. I don't think everyone wants Swedish player. I don't know if he'll play.
So our prediction, I mean, certainly mine is, I think that the...
Do you reckon they'll go with a 5 at the back or a 4 at the back?
Oh, I think... That's a good question. I think we should be worried if we're playing 5 at the back against teams like Scotland or Czech Republic. And that is what it is. So for anyone that likes football, anyone will know that when teams refer to a 3-5-2, you might say, oh, they're playing 5 in midfield. They're not. It's essentially 5 defenders. That's a way of getting round it on the team sheet, but in reality you're playing 3 centre-halves, which means 3 defenders, 3 in the middle, and you're playing 3 full-backs, a left-back and a right-back, who for England would probably be Luke Shaw, at right-back might be Kyle Walker.
It'll be James.
Or Trippier.
If it's a 5, it'll be James.
And the problem with that is just that it's 5 defenders against, like, we're playing against fucking nations like fucking Scotland. Wouldn't we? We should be battling. We should be battling Scotland. We should be hammering Czech Republic. Croatia will be a tough game, but we're playing it against teams where I just feel like it's just not necessary.
Right. Well, what's your lineup going to be though? Do you know what I mean?
I would say.
So from the beginning, Pickford, obviously.
I would probably go maybe to 4. I
would definitely play 4.
I'll probably go 4-2-3-1. It's not going to happen.
The thing is, with that good offensively, there's no need for 5 defend. I just think just go for it.
So that's exactly right. So
I just don't think he'll do it though.
So the big discussion with the lineup I think will be Pickford in goal for me.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're watching on YouTube, whatever you're watching on, you can comment below with your team. And if you're not interested in England, trust us, it's still worth listening because this month this is all you're going to hear. So you might as well learn from us, and then you can pretend you know what you're on about. Pickford in goal.
Yeah.
Probably go Walker right back.
Yeah.
I'd probably go...
Obviously Maguire's not fit.
Maguire isn't fit, so that's another talk point. We'll come with that. I'll probably say Stones and... I don't like Mings, but...
He's not very good.
No. Centre-halves is up for debate. Left back...
But he probably will play left back.
What do you think, left back?
It'll be Shaw. He's had a great season.
Probably Shaw left back, and then the midfield is where I think it gets interesting. You've got the potential to play 2 defensive midfielders.
Well, this is the big talking point. Who plays there?
2 defensive midfielders. I'd probably go Rice.
Oh, Rice is 100.
I would probably go Rice and Bellingham just for fucking giving it like the push, because I don't think I fucking hate Liverpool for one. So anyone listening, not a big Liverpool fan, me. But aside from that, I probably don't think Henderson's fit.
Well, exactly. Rice, Henderson not fit.
Yeah.
Maguire.
I don't think Henderson's fit, so I probably wouldn't play him certainly from the start. And then I would probably go with what I said before: Grealish, Foden, and Sancho in behind, and then I'd go with Kane up front.
You're missing a player there.
No, that's my 2. 4-2-3-1.
Who in behind Kane?
Foden, Sancho, Grealish, 3.
Very exciting.
That's good, isn't it? I like that.
Where's Mount?
I probably wouldn't have Mount personally.
I
do like Mount.
Mount will play. Actually, don't hold me to this. Every minute.
Yeah.
Great player.
So, what would you change? So, to give everyone the background, would you change the formation? Would you change the team based on who we're playing? So, the games we've got. These are dates for your diary, people. So, we've got. Who we got first? So, what's the first game?
Croatia.
So, Croatia is on Sunday.
This Sunday,
the 13th of June, 2 o'clock kickoff. Then we've got Scotland.
Might be tough, to be fair, really tough game.
So then we've got so we've got Sunday, 13th of June, we've got Croatia, 2 o'clock at Wembley. England are playing at home for all of the group stages. Then we've got Scotland, massive. Massive.
Do you know what? It's just
probably one of the biggest games of our lifetime.
They're probably tuning in like prime Barcelona for that game.
8 o'clock, Wembley, Friday the 18th of June. Massive. And then we've got the final group game, which is Czech Republic v England at 8 o'clock on Tuesday, the 22nd of June. So those are your 3 group stage games. Everyone plays 3 games in the group stage, then the top 2 teams, as I mentioned before, go through to the next round of the competition.
Mate, that's Scotland game.
So my question for you, Mikey, is would you change your team for each game? And then also, what would you say in terms of the main talking points for England, or what were the main things that you would like to discuss, or what do you think that people need to know?
Well, I don't know if you should start mixing formation up like during a tournament like that. I reckon it's guys' formation. I just don't think. I don't want to see him play 5 at the back, but I can see it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think the defenders are. England are a lot better. This squad.
England are fantastic going forward. We've got loads of good players going forward. We've got Kane, one of the best strikers in the world.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Grealish, Foden, Rashford, Sancho, Sterling. There's not going to be many countries who've got 5 attacking midfielders better than that.
No, there isn't.
But it's how do you fit them into the team?
Mason Mount.
6.
Mate,
in fact, England's midfield, you probably have a shout for England's midfield being the best attacking midfield of any team at the tournament.
I was looking at the squads, I was like, fucking hell, England have got the bloody best squad going, but then I looked at France and I was just like, And
where's the problem? Where's the problem areas for England?
Just defence.
Someone's trying to be a clever cunt at the pub and there's someone saying England's going to win. Where would you say, but have you thought about the defence?
Favourites England.
England are favourites with the bookies. We're going to get in odds soon, don't worry. We're giving you all of our tips. Not financial advice.
Like a bet.
We do like
not follow these
Don't
tips.
follow these tips. We're going to give them anyway. Where would be the problem areas or the worries for you, Mikey? If I was going to put £100 on England to win tomorrow, what would you say in terms of why should I not do that? What are the positions? What are the problems? What are the talking points?
You've got Tyrone Mings at centre half.
That's your big one. That's your big one.
But to be fair, that's why he might go.
Possibly centre defensive midfield and that we don't know what we're doing.
No, Rice will play. Well, I think you put Rice there. Obviously, Henderson is not fit. It's just a real weird selection. I reckon that him and Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Henderson, I think his last game for Liverpool was 20th of February. Came on 45 minutes since then.
Is that how long ago it was?
That's what it was, mate.
So that's a good start for you. So Henderson hadn't played for Liverpool in 3 months?
4 months.
Until you come on the other day and you missed a pen.
Took it off Calvert-Lewin.
And missed a pen, which is never great, missing a pen. So,
I don't know how much time he's going to give Henderson, to be fair. But the thing is, if he doesn't, what's the point of taking him?
It's good around the campus, right?
Two down, back and Roy there.
Yeah. So for me, I think that centre half's possibly a worry, and also
Maguire, of course. But mind you, you looked at Man United, obviously no Maguire. Awful.
The big thing for England, and this is something that we've looked into today, is the potential route to the final. So we're going to get onto this in a minute, but the biggest thing for England is that as much as the team's great, as much as we've potentially got this, unbelievable wealth of attacking talent, we've got Kane up front, defence isn't that great, but we might be alright without it. But the thing that a lot of people aren't mentioning, and we're going to talk about it now, is that if England finish first in the group and win the group, they can potentially play Portugal, France, Germany, or Hungary in the next round. Hungary probably won't win that group. So you're talking about possibly Portugal, France, or Germany. They're all fucking losable games.
France realistically should be. I think the joint favourites. They are.
They're really, really good.
Just won the World Cup. I'll say just 3 days ago. But you know what I mean. Same squad.
Yeah.
They are favourites.
In the past, France in 98 and 2000. So France won the World Cup in 1998, and then they won the Euros in the year 2000. Spain won the World Cup in 2010, and then won the Euros in 2012. So there is form and history for teams doing that.
And Benzema.
Benzema's come back for France as well, who's a massive player. Certainly when we were younger, he was massive time, wasn't he? So that's a really, really big thing. But if England finish second in the group as well, the other side of that is, you think, England will be sound if they finish first or second. Anyone who remembers the World Cup, you might remember that we had a very, very easy route to the semi-finals, didn't we?
Well, that's what everyone's saying, isn't it?
Unbelievably easy route to the semi-finals, and we actually got beat off Croatia, who will play in the group stage this time.
We've got a way better squad than Croatia.
Yeah, so we've got a good team, but I think the potential route we've got to. What I'm saying here is we've got to beat some big teams. England have got to have some big wins to do anything in this tournament, whereas in the World Cup, for some reason, we just seem to spunk our way to fucking the semi-finals out of nowhere.
Do you think England top the group? Do you know what it is? I reckon everyone reckons that group's a little bit like a piss take, but I reckon it's going to be a little bit different.
We're going to do it now. We'll do it now. This is good. Right, let's go through the games.
Right, Croatia, obviously.
Let's go through the games.
Okay.
So England, Croatia.
On paper, obviously,
England, Croatia, England at home. Croatia beat one in the World Cup 2 years ago, whatever it was, 3 years ago. Who wins? England, Croatia. That's the first one. I can see that being a draw.
Nah, I reckon England.
You think?
Well, mind you, Griffin Tultroff is going to play like Grealish and Foden together. Do you reckon they'll ever play together? Do you reckon they'll ever start a game, Grealish and Foden?
I hope they do.
They won't, will they?
I hope they do.
What's the midfield? It'll be Kane.
Football nerds out there, what do you think? Will Grealish and Foden play together for England? They should both start, but they think they're too similar.
What will the midfield three be? Right.
I think realistically, so this is the thing with these type of podcasts, football podcasts, debates on any of this stuff. There's what you would like to happen, and there's what you will think will happen. And what I would like to happen is what I mentioned at the beginning. I would probably play a 4-2-3-1. I'll play 3 people in behind Kane, and for me, those 3 people.
Never gonna happen.
Well, exactly. Those 3 people would be Grealish, Foden, and Sancho. I'd probably play.
That will never ever happen.
Be fucking great though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but that will never ever happen.
Are
you too much football manager?
That was the class formation, mate.
I was gonna say.
And then what I think will happen, I think they'll go 3-5-2, which is really 5, well, whatever it is, 5 at the back, 3.
They were. I tell you what, if they play 5 in the back.
On Sunday against Croatia, they'll play 5 defenders.
We didn't play my team, did we? Oh, you did. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. They will not play them 3.
I think they will. So
you think you'll play them?
Oh no, they'll not play the 3 attacking players. I think that they'll play quite a defensive team against Croatia. I think they'll change it against Scotland. I can see England.
Mate, that Scotland game is going to be the toughest game.
I can see England drawn on Sunday against Croatia. I think we'll beat Scotland, and I think we'll beat Czech Republic. I think we'll probably finish joint top or second in the group based on goal difference.
Mate, Scotland is going to be tougher than Croatia. I say that now.
Right. So let's get this on record.
Right, I'm telling you now.
Right, let's go through the 3 games. Just win, lose, or draw. England, Croatia. You're going to go first. You're going to give us with 3. England, Croatia.
Win.
Right. England, Scotland.
Draw.
England, Czech Republic.
Win.
Right. I'm going to say draw against Croatia. I think we'll beat Scotland.
Mate, that game is so big, it's going to be class.
I think we'll beat Scotland. I think we'll draw against Croatia, and I think there'll be a lot of backlash, and I think they might change the team up, going more attacking against Scotland. I think they'll beat Czech Republic. And I think it will come either second or first in the group. Now, like I said before, the problem with the groups, and this is something that everyone should be aware of, is that England potentially play really good teams when they get out of the group. So like I mentioned before, if they win the group, they can play possibly Portugal, France or Germany, but if they come second, they can play Spain, Sweden, Poland or Slovakia. So just like in the World Cup, it's actually probably best to come second in the group. That worked for it in the World Cup. It meant that we had a much easier route to the semi-final. It's tournament football. Gamesmanship wins. You've got to be willing to do a bit of shithousery. You can't just fucking be a fanny and think, you've got to be willing to win anyway.
Yeah, but you can't just go and say, we want to finish second.
You can go out and probably draw and change the team a little bit, I think, in the final game. So it's important that we get off to a good start on Sunday, although I do think we'll draw.
Belgium tried that, the World Cup turned us over. Januzaj scored, didn't they? And you low. Admin Januzaj.
So, that is England in the group cover. The other talking points for England would probably be, is Harry Maguire fit? Is Henderson fit? Do you want to go over that just over a couple of minutes, Mikey?
It's weird. Though obviously I reckon Maguire is probably a lot more crucial for England than Henderson. Henderson, obviously a great player, obviously last year, absolutely class. This year, people in centre half most of this.
Yeah, so both of these two haven't been very fit how they like you said before, that's a good start. Henderson hasn't played for Liverpool since February.
Mate,
Maguire's been out for...
Well, Maguire's done his ankle, so how long's that going to take? But
But
You look at Man United since
Maguire would be Stones and probably Mings.
There'll be Mings, obviously Cody's there, but he plays in the back.
He's fucking tiny. You're probably taller than him.
I'll take it.
You're a solid 5'11", aren't you, son?
But no, you're right. Cody plays in the back. Well, I think they'll play back three. It's ideal, but I don't think they will. Cody, obviously Ben White.
Yeah, Leeds.
Well, Brighton, but Leeds
with the 2 more.
Yeah.
Right. Summing up on that, we're going to go on to the next point. So England, last transfer diaries, they're going to play Croatia, Scotland, and Czech Republic. They can then, if they finish first in the group, they can either play Portugal, France, or Germany, which is fucking horrendous. And if they finish second,
I reckon all three of them
would probably
it's going to.
And if they finish second, they could play Sweden, Spain, Poland, or Slovakia. So probably second would probably be better, but you never know. And my point with that is, just to finish off, is that we're going to have to beat. There isn't going to be an easy route to this. Which, looking at the format of the tournament, when you look at 6 groups, 4 teams, 3 teams going through, which is a fucking joke. By the way, Portugal won the tournament in 2016, and they finished 3rd in the group and didn't win a game in normal time all the way to the final, but Pinaldo, for some reason, was there and managed to win. Horrendous. So there's a every chance that you can spunk your way to the final of this tournament.
Mate, the format's shite.
The format isn't very good. But I believe and I think that actually England's route is quite hard, and we will have to play some hard games, so prepare for that, people, but we'll definitely get out of it.
I think England's group, looking back today, is just, it's a little bit tougher than you think. You play the Croatia World Cup finals.
I would agree.
And then you play Scotland, like a massive, like how big is that game?
It's huge. Probably the biggest game in our lifetime.
Obviously, last played them in tournament when Gaza scored that goal.
Yeah.
96.
Massive.
So think how big it's going to be. Imagine how many Scotland they'll bring a lot down on them.
Next section. The winners, the big countries, and along with that, for those of you watching on YouTube, we can move on to a different gear. Peroni next to talk about some of the big countries. So, the potential big countries, your typical big players at these tournaments. We've got down Spain, Germany, Portugal, Italy, France, Holland, Belgium, and we've included ourselves in that because why not?
England joint favourites, mate.
Yeah, England are joint favourites, but
maybe in England, probably not anywhere else in the world.
So, in terms of those potential winners in big countries, Mikey, what would be your tips? What's your information you've got for it in terms of potential people want to put a bet on or whatever it is? Who would you back? What's your tips? What's your advice for those countries? So we'll start with Spain.
Spain, they've been rocked today. To be fair, Busquets got COVID.
Yeah.
So he's been sent back. I think he's out of the squad now. To be fair. So they've got a warm-up game tomorrow, and the under-21s are playing instead of the actual squad. So
right. That's big news. That's massive.
I mean, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
Obviously, Busquets going. He's probably his best chance. To be fair, probably behind him. So it's probably.
So that's potentially a big thing for the tournament. Something to keep in mind for the tournament is that we could potentially have players or teams getting people ruled out through COVID route. In Spain, that's already hit. So they're down in terms of their players. Spain generally is going through a bit of a transition.
Spain, obviously, Ramos not there.
That's big.
That's massive, isn't it? Yeah. So obviously, mind you, no Ramos but Laporte now Spanish.
Yeah, he's a good player from Man City. What about Germany?
Germany, well, Joachim Löw's last tournament. He's getting replaced, isn't he? Hansi Flick. Muller and Hummel's back in. Muller, my favourite German player.
Yeah, scores a lot of goals.
25-1, golden boot.
Right, so that's a good tip. We're going to get onto that, don't you worry. Portugal?
Right, Portugal, big chance, I think. Obviously, they're in that group of death, but
I hope that Portugal don't do it because I'm not a Ronaldo fan. Team Messi. So I really hope that Portugal don't do it.
Portugal, obviously, that group of death, but obviously 3 going through.
So, Portugal's group, let me get the groups for you. So, Portugal are in a group. The group of death is always labelled in every tournament.
But how can it be a group of death?
For us, I will agree on this.
No big team will go because the third team will go through.
So that, in a nutshell, is why this is fucking shit. Is because for some reason, 3 teams going through is an absolute ball ache for everyone involved. It's all about keeping the big teams in to get more fans and more people watching.
It's just money.
This is the problem with football nowadays. It's like, why is that a thing? It's always been the top 2 teams through in a tournament.
Yeah.
Now it's 3. For me, that is just shit. There's only 6 groups. There's only 24 teams. Why do we have a 3rd team going through from the group? So Portugal's group and France and Germany's group is Hungary.
Best player missing.
The best players missing.
We're
not going to try his name.
Try and pronounce his name, obviously. It's Salzburg, and then
he's injured. So Hungary's best player isn't there.
Dominic's. I'm not even going to try him.
We'll come back to that. We'll have a few more drinks afterwards. So Hungary, best player isn't there. Then you've got Portugal, France, and Germany make up Group F, which I think, without a doubt, is the group of death. I think that's the toughest group. But you're right what you say there. Actually, that's a good point. Is it even the group of death anymore? Is that even a thing in tournaments like this? When you get 3 teams.
Well, there's no group of death because literally all the big 3 could go.
Yeah, and I think
there's not going to be an upset.
My tip.
Here we go.
My tip is that in Group F, you will see Hungary come in the top 3. I do not fancy, for some reason, I always feel like in a big tournament, particularly when there's 3 of them in a group, I just think that one of Portugal, France, or Germany will flop and flop hard, and I expect, I don't know which one that will be. It would be great if it was Portugal, but I actually think it'll probably be Germany.
Portugal will do alright. They'll do alright.
I think it'll be Germany. I think that Germany will probably flop out of that group, and then there'll be a big change in the guard there. But I don't think that Hungary will finish bottom. We'll come back to that and see.
So you do think Hungary will finish bottom of Portugal?
That's my bet of this group. Of this. There's going to be a lot of this on this podcast.
Please do not follow that.
On this episode, but I don't think that Hungary will finish bottom. I'll be happy to back against that. I think that.
I reckon you get big odds on that.
I think we'll go. We should have looked that up. And then we're next one. So we've done Germany, we've done Portugal. Your little tip. We've done France.
But France, they are looking at the squad. They have to be fair.
France have got Griezmann and Mbappe. They've recently recalled Benzema from Real Madrid, who. He's probably going to go to jail in October, apparently, but...
That's you can't have that much.
We're not getting into that on this podcast, but Benzema's got some stuff going on. If you want some fun in your spare time, you want to look up Karim Benzema and why he is in court at the minute. It's a very interesting story about essentially him blackmailing one of his teammates regarding a prostitute in a video. Have a look, it's very interesting. And he hasn't played for the France squad in 4 or 5 years. Hasn't played for France in 4 or 5 years over this incident, and he's been called back for this tournament. That alone actually tells me that France are struggling. Why have they brought him back? They didn't have him for the World Cup, they didn't have him for the Euros, and they brought him back for this. I think why have they struggling?
Just won the World Cup.
I think why have they brought him back? Why now? They've just won the World Cup without him. Why bring him back?
Well, that's very much fair.
Yeah, you've got to think. So that's what I'm saying. So I actually think maybe he's trying to sign a weakness in the French squad. My tip, France are also fucked. There's a team in that group F.
You are wrong.
There's a team in Group F that's going to get this.
I hear you say that.
Everyone. There's going to be a team in Group F that's going to fuck up. You'll see it. So we're
hungry.
Next one, the 6th in our. Oh no, actually we've missed Italy.
Italy, mate.
We're going to get on your dark horse tip in a minute, but
no, dark horse.
Give a little bit of an overview of Italy.
Italy won all group games going into this Euros. Mancini at the helm. 9-1, 10-1 in places. I'm sorry.
Italy at 9-1, 10-1 in places.
But
give us the odds on Italy and Immobile.
Right. Put a quid on this.
Yep.
Italy to win it, Immobile top scorer, 100-1.
Okay.
Should be 20.
That's not bad odds. I remember back at the World Cup, when did Spain win it? 2010? Spain and David Villa, I remember backing that. That was a good bet. I did.
No, but obviously Verratti, he's a bit of an injury now, but he'll be there.
I think,
Immobile.
For me, Italy, they were a young squad that's probably not got as many names as what they used to have.
I haven't got as many names, but
Italy used to be full of big names, and they had Pirlo, Maldini, Cannavaro, even Vieri, Buffon,
Donnarumma and
Luca Toni.
Oh, legend.
Loads and loads of big names over the years. I think this is probably, in that sense, a very different Italy squad. Did Italy even qualify for? Did they qualify for the World Cup? Was it not the World Cup where they didn't qualify? Because I had Zaza, who played for West Ham for a little bit. He was fucking
Remember his
shite.
penalty that
He was
time?
shite on him.
Aye.
So Italy, maybe his potential dark horses.
No, they're not dark horse, mate. Call it dark horses is a nice one.
Who were big 8 that we're going through? I would say they're the outsiders. So our big 8, 33% of the tournament. I would be willing to fucking bet everything that a team out of this 8 wins the tournament.
Oh, no, it will be.
It will be, 100%. We've got Spain, Germany, Portugal, Italy, France, Holland, Belgium and England in that. We've covered Italy, we've covered France, we've got Holland and Belgium to go. Holland, what do you think?
Holland.
The Netherlands.
They are going nowhere, mate. They've got...
This is a bold statement.
Mate, they are done. They've got, I say they've got an easy group. I reckon they'll struggle against Ukraine a little
So
bit.
Holland's group is the Netherlands, or Holland, Ukraine, Austria and Macedonia. That is the easiest group of probably anyone.
Yeah, if you're like a layer of the tournament, that'll be it. So like bet against them to win.
Right.
They will not do it.
Okay.
I reckon they're done. Mind you, they've obviously got Depay, Delay, De Jong, but...
Right, so who's the main players for Holland?
Obviously, Depay, De Jong, Wijnaldum. Now
Yeah.
gone to PSG, not
Yeah,
Barca.
I've seen that. I know, I'm not happy about that. Don't really know Wijnaldum anyway. But Holland...
He's a legend, to be fair.
Two legend. Wijnaldum was once at Newcastle. What would you say in terms of... Would Holland beat England?
Nah.
No?
I'm telling you now.
So Mikey's tip, as much as my tip was someone in Group F to flop,
Mikey's
saying Holland will get out the group.
They will get out of the group. Obviously, mind you, anyone can get out of the group. It's, you finish third, and you get...
What you've got to remember here, people, is when we're looking at this tournament, you play your first 3 games and they mean fuck all really.
Yeah.
Your first 3 games, like I said, back in 2016, Portugal did not win a group game. They got 3 draws.
Did win a group game,
They got 3 draws. Portugal got out of the group somehow, some miracle, and ended up winning the tournament. So don't worry about the group stage. What we're saying is, past the group stage, when you have to play one of the big boys, what's going to happen? And we fancy, or Mikey certainly fancies, Holland to get pumped off someone.
I reckon they will. Honestly.
And then my last one is Belgium.
To be fair.
We like Belgium.
They are going to be good.
We both like Belgium. What I like about Belgium, not just they've got a good team, but they've got a half-decent group where I feel like they're not playing absolute fucking terrible teams. Holland's group comparatively, Holland are playing Austria, Macedonia, you would fancy them to win by big. But Belgium have got Finland, Denmark and Russia, which on paper you say Denmark, not a bad team, but you wouldn't necessarily say, oh, they're going to win by those.
Finland, Russia, Belgium will go through their own.
Yeah, Finland, but what I would say, Belgium potentially, and we're going to get on this in a second, we're going to talk players, I feel like Belgium could win big in that group and score a lot of goals. Yeah. I would say that's one of the weaker groups of the tournament.
Obviously there was doubts over De Bruyne, but he's going to wear a mask.
De Bruyne and Lukaku are going to be 2 of the big players for Belgium. I'll make a note of that. And we'll get on that in a bit, but Lukaku is going to be big, I feel.
Obviously Hazard, you could do the...
Hazard could do, yeah. You could do Eden Hazard if you want to get in touch. We're doing the 28-day challenge world tournament. I can sort you out because I feel like
he could do with a plan.
He could do with a plan. He is a fat gun now.
Yeah, he is fat.
Right, the next part, we're going to talk a little bit about dark horses. So when we're looking at the winners in the big countries, if we've got any odds on the winners, who's the favourites, Mikey? Before we get on this, want to give you a little bit of betting advice because it's more fun.
Advice?
Advice, not advice. This is not advice.
Yes.
This is fun.
Gamble responsibly.
Gamble responsibly, that's it.
Favourites, England and France.
Yep.
Which, realistically, France should be favourites.
Yeah, looking at past form, I would agree with France as the favourites. Slight outsiders, we've got England or second, but who would say maybe it's Italy potentially? What,
Italy, 9-1.
Italy are 9-1, it's not a bad bet.
Favourable group.
Yeah, favourable group for Italy.
Yeah, I've answered them, I've put a little bit of money on them.
Yeah. Who else would you say?
I would love to back England, but I can't back them at that price. They're in 92. Like, what's the point?
England are just over 4.5 to 1 people, so that means if you put on a tenner, you win 45 quid.
Yeah,
basically. Whereas Italy, you get literally double the odds for the same team. Looking at the form in big tournaments.
But a real dark horse, Turkey.
So one with dark horses. Mikey's dark horse is Turkey.
But this is a real big outsider.
This is a real outsider.
Yeah.
You might get better odds even backing them to just make the later stages.
Of course not, would I?
But for us...
But they're also in the group of Italy who I said they're going to win it.
Yeah. So Mikey's going to go with Turkey.
50 to 1.
50 to 1.
Turn Holland over. in the World Cup qualifiers 4-2.
Yeah.
Took 4 points off France in the qualifiers for this.
Mm-hmm. He
Yilmaz
does his stuff.
up front from Lille, just won the
Played for
league.
Lille, just won the league, scored a lot of goals.
Obviously, Saranchuk at the back, Demiral, obviously Kabak, Liverpool legend, loves a yellow card. He's at the back. They've got some good players, mate. 50-1.
50-1 for Turkey.
That's to win it, obviously, but
To win it, but you could look shorter odds, maybe possibly just making it out.
Just like I
would definitely be backing Turkey making it out of the group. Turkey's group is Turkey, Italy, Wales, and Switzerland. Would fancy Turkey making it out of that group?
I always I always expect someone to Switzerland. They always just let me down.
Yeah,
So I think it's just like throwing Shaqiri from like Football Manager back.
agree. And Shaka.
Yeah, and Jack and obviously Sean now, but they always let us down.
And then my tip for dark horses. Now, I seen this earlier today and I couldn't quite believe my eyes. If you're going on past form, this is ridiculous. Croatia are 30-1 to win the tournament. When I'm talking about Croatia, someone who hasn't done anything the last few years, Croatia were in the World Cup final and beat England as little as, how long ago was it? 3 years ago. 30-1. The team that they beat, England, are 4.5-1. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fair comment.
I'm still not backing it, but it would be that would be my dark horse pick.
Put a quid on it.
Put a quid on it, you win 30 quid. There's no point, man, is there? Put a tenner on it. You got
Yeah,
300
that's
quid.
fair.
That's not bad, is it? But Croatia, for me, I think. Listen, Croatia and England are definitely going to get out of that group.
I'm telling you, Scotland a little bit.
I can't see any way in. I mean, I literally just cannot see it. England and Croatia will absolutely get out of group. Is it group D?
Well, this should do. Mind you, Modric,
Yeah.
best 35-year-old.
Yeah. So I fancy
A
them.
35-year-old got the tournament.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
How many of them? Not many, I reckon.
Yeah, and he is.
But mind you, I suppose it's Luka Modric.
We do, yeah. So Croatia got some really, really good players. Modric being one of them.
Kovacic not really played for Chelsea.
Yeah, Kovacic hasn't really played much for Chelsea. Who else have they got?
Mandzukic should decide now.
Is he right? So he's not going to be there.
Aye.
Kramaric
from Hoffenheim.
Kramaric from Bayern, yeah.
But man,
Croatia, you never know.
I reckon he
Croatia
should be 30s. I reckon you're wrong.
Do you think?
What's Croatia?
What's Croatia?
Turn England over.
So I think Croatia are looking at the prices for anyone fancying putting a bet on these. I think that's quite a big price for a team that just recently finished runner-up of the World Cup.
Turkey.
But Turkey might be saying Turkey. So Marcus, now
Of course, all kicks off.
feel free to screen record and come back and let me know. Italy actually kick off the tournament, so the first game starts on Friday the 11th of June at 8 p.m. in Rome. Italy v Turkey. Let's hope that Italy pump them. It's win-win for you. You're saying Italy would win on one hand and that Turkey would win another, so you can't lose.
Yeah,
Let's hope that Italy pump them 4-0 and we'll come back and tell you.
Watch them both finish bottom of the group, that'll be the group where the third place doesn't qualify.
Yeah. And the final, by the way, I didn't mention so the final of the tournament is on the 11th of July and is at Wembley, so hopefully if England get there, we can go for them. The next part, mate, who are you backing for top goal scorer?
Well, that is a very difficult choice. I'm going to have to back my boy Immobile for Italy because I'm backing them. Man, he's record for Italy.
You've got some stats for it, I believe.
Well, of course, some stats in the league for Immobile, to be fair.
So Immobile plays up front for Italy. So we've got Immobile, scored a lot of goals last season. Got Harry Kane,
he scored, obviously, 23 goals for Tottenham in the Premier League.
Yeah, we've got Lewandowski for Poland.
Yeah, 41 goals.
So again, looking at the form, you would say, and this is what hopefully fucking anyone listening to this will get from it. It's not as straightforward. I think you would agree on this. It's not as straightforward as just picking the best teams or the biggest players. You've got to look at who they're playing and what their group is. So it's alright saying, Lewandowski, massive time, plays for Bayern Munich, scored fucking loads of goals, won fucking 6 trophies last year in 2020. You think, fucking hell, he's going to score loads of goals. But actually, Poland, his country, they're in a group with Spain, Sweden and Slovakia. Well, there could be goals in that for him, to be fair. I would fancy him to score against Sweden and Slovakia. But is he in as strong a team as Lukaku, who would be my pick? So my pick for top goal scorer, you can write this down, I'll fucking hang my hat on it, will be Lukaku. He scored a lot of goals this season for Inter Milan. I love anything to wind Man United fans up. And him winning top goal scorer, they'll just say that he wasn't a good fit for Man United. I would say that Man United were shit at the time. I fancy Lukaku for top goal scorer. He scored a lot of goals last season for Inter Milan. He's in a strong team in Belgium.
He's just won the league with
He's just won the league in a poor group. So when you're making decisions about this kind of stuff, and you fucking look at it like anything of the fuck around this, look at all the options, look at the big picture. Lukaku, he's just won the league. He's playing for Belgium, which are a strong team, a slight outside favourites for the tournament. They're playing in a group of Denmark, Finland, and Russia.
Yeah, to be fair.
I fancy Lukaku to score goals in this tournament. Now, your other options, talk us through some of the scores, Mikey.
Kane is the favourite, to be fair, 5-1. But obviously, I reckon England's looking back now.
I'm telling you now, I don't think England will score more than 3 goals in any group game.
Oh, no, to be fair, I don't think they will. But do you think any other team will score 3 goals?
I think Belgium will. I think that, looking at it, I can see Holland scoring a lot of some goals.
You've been listening to Aesthetically Trained,
Wales.
the podcast.
I do.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and spread the
There'll
word.
be some funny results somewhere, but definitely Belgium for me stand out, and that's why I'm going with that one. I would also say I fancy Holland to win their group big, even though you said that, but I don't think Holland will win anything beyond that.
Holland, they've got, to be fair, they have got an easy.
They've got an easy
easy group.
Yeah.
Ukraine caused them some problems.
Maybe.
But watching Austria against
Can't Blanca, is he still like that?
He's over there.
He'll be there, mate.
Yarmolenko. But
Is he fit?
he's going, obviously Zinchenko, obviously he plays left back for Man City, I think he plays like number 10 for.
So top goal scorer, who's your pick, Mikey? Immobile, is that who you're going with? So Mikey's going. Well, you've got to hang your hat on something, son.
Right, I'll go.
Not going to get any clicks if you just give a million people. I'm saying Lukaku for better or worse. Come back,
right?
Give a shit for later.
Immobile, but the best bet is Immobile in Italy, 100-1.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your joint bet.
Yeah.
I'm going to back. Have you got any other tips for on that? Any other bigger bets on that?
Muller 25-1 back in the German squad.
Who else is obviously Germany? So who we've got for Germany? We've got Werner.
Havertz.
Werner scored 6 goals in the league last season for Chelsea.
Yes.
Havertz. That's bad.
Havertz going to champion.
I fancy Germany to not do well, and that's going to go against the grain a little bit. I just for me, young team. The players might have won some stuff at Chelsea, but I think that generally speaking, Chelsea are a very well-oiled team where they're not really any superstars in that. Like I said, the top goal scorer in the league, 6 goals.
No, that's not that.
That's like the fucking mobs, that.
I don't think that was the top scorer in the league. But
I think it is. I think they had 4 players on 6 goals.
That can't.
Look it up. People watching, check it out. Comment below. Who was Chelsea's top goal scorer in the league last season? I'm pretty sure that it was something like Werner, Abraham, and Jorginho, or something like that in the league, and they all had 6 goals. Correct us if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. Either way, I feel like Germany
can have
I really fancy Group F. I'm going to go back to it again, even though when I'm top goal scorer, I just can't stress this enough. Portugal or Germany or someone is going to fuck up in Group F, and it's going to be hilarious. So just be ready for it. I can see that. And so top goal scorer, you went to Immobile. I've gone Lukaku.
Right, okay, I'm going to Immobile.
Player of the tournament. Now I know you've got some interesting views on this one, and I like it. I like your logic.
Well, I think
hit me with it.
I reckon Kante. Obviously, I think France are going to do really well.
Yeah.
And obviously, if they win it, and Kante, obviously, but I think he's won man of the match the last 4 games of the Champions League. That's only on 3 games.
Yeah.
Obviously, just won the chat. It's just all over. Like everyone's.
As you said, he's flavour of the month for the
league. He is. Everyone loves him.
He's humble. He's unassuming. People like giving him it. There's no hate against him. There's fucking loads of memes about him. The fucking world is 10% this. The rest is covered by Kante. All that kind of shit. And he's good.
Yeah. So I reckon him. If honestly, it'll probably go down to who wins it, won't it?
Yeah. So what normally happens at these tournaments is that it's the team that wins, a bit like the Champions League. The team that wins, the player that wins, that gets it. Which I don't always think that's the best thing.
No.
Do you think that's? I mean, I think in tournament football, I guess it probably is, because in tournament football there just isn't enough games for anyone else to win it.
No, you're right.
I don't like talking about a league. Over 38 games in a league season, there'll be some players who, despite not winning the league, are really, really good. But in 6 games, how many games do the player get to final? You've got 3 group games, round of 16, quarter-final, semi-final, final. 7 games.
Right.
So we're looking at 7 games here, people. I feel that for 7 games, there's not going to be, generally speaking, it's probably going to be the team that wins it, or at least gets to the final. Who got the player of the tournament in 2000 at the World Cup when it was Croatia and France? Was it France? Was it Griezmann? I don't know if it was Griezmann or...
No, Griezmann got it at the Euros before that.
So at the World Cup, which was the last major tournament for us, Harry Kane won the Golden
Goal. Got 5 goals.
5 goals. So we had some interesting stats for you on the top goal scorers. I'll pull them up now. So in terms of top goal scorers, the odds, we've got Harry Kane at 5-1, we've got Lukaku 6-1, that's my tip. Mbappe for France is 9-1.
Where's the mobile in there?
He's not even there, mate. So, no, he is, he's 20-1 there.
25 on Sky.
It's 21. So we've just went off an article on the Telegraph for these odds. We've got Mbappe, Ronaldo, Griezmann, Benzema, Depay for the Netherlands. We've got Immobile, Morata, and Werner. Ranging from 5-1 at Kane, the favourite, right out to 20-1 for Werner at Germany. And here's an interesting thing: if you bet £10 on Werner to be top goal scorer of the tournament, you lose £10. So it is a terrible bet. I think that for me, like I said, Lukaku. Moving on. Or before we do, actually, sorry, the facts I was going to give you. We had a little look earlier at the previous top goal scorers, and from 1960. Again, I'm giving you just information for you to baffle your mates at the pub. From 1960 to 2016, who do you think is the top goal scorer in European or the Euros history? Mikey, you know what it is, because I told you earlier. But who do you think, if you're in the car now with your mates, you think I'm going, who do you think? So from 1960 to 2016, way back in 1960, it was Milan Galic for Yugoslavia. I haven't got a fucking clue who that is. And in 2016, which wasn't that long ago, with 6 goals, was Antoine Griezmann, Barca legend. But in between that, we had someone score more. What do you think, or who do you think the person was, and how many goals did they score? You can think about that in the pub. You can ask your mates. So I'm going to give you that answer in 2 seconds. We'll come back after a short break.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and spread the word.
Well, we'll have a short break while Mike goes to the toilet. Let me remind you, let me tell all of you who are watching on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, this little mid-episode break is for one thing and one thing only. You know what it is. I want you to like, share, comment, and of course, pay it forward to someone like you. Don't just spread it randomly. Don't just fucking share it on Facebook. Just pick a pal who you think could do a listen to this. Someone who needs to brush up on the football knowledge before you go out on Sunday for the England game. Someone who might be bored out of their fucking mind listening to you talk about football in the future. This episode will help. Thank you for listening, and we will be right.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and spread the word.
And we are back, refreshed, ready to go. In honour of England playing Czech Republic, I'm actually now drinking a Star. Cheers to that! And the question that we asked you just before the break, you may have asked your mate, you may have asked around the office at work, who scored the most goals in a Euros competition in history? Mikey, who is it?
Michel Platini of France in 1984.
How many goals, Mikey?
Got 9.
9 goals. So Michel Platini in 1984 scored 9 goals for France. That is the most goals in one tournament. But when you look online, and this is something to consider when you're backing who's going to score the most goals, it's around 5 or 6 normally wins the tournament top goal scorer. Harry Kane scored 5 for England back in the day.
In the World Cup.
In the World Cup.
The record.
Shearer. So scored in 1996. Scored 5 for England in 1996. Yeah, and he got it then. So you're looking at around 5 or 6 goals typically to win the top goal scorer. I remember back in the day, one of our first Euros was Milan Baros. Czech Republic again.
I backed him, mate.
Again, you did, yeah. Again, Milan Baros, 2004, 5 goals. So you're looking at around 5 or 6 goals for top goal scorer tournament. I personally, we know who I fancy. We'll not go about that. But Michel Platini is the record, 9 goals. So you can wind your mates up with your knowledge on that one. The next one. Player of the tournament. We can possibly combine this, like we said, with the winners and the overall winners. So we're going to first go. So the last 2 sections, if you like, are questions that we'll have is who do we think the winners will be, and the player of the tournament can possibly be 1 or 2 questions, because like we said, it's probably going to be a player from that country. And then also, we're going to give you our predictions on England. So, what do you think, Mike, in terms of player of the tournament? Do you think it's going to be from the team that wins it?
Yeah,
Who do you think?
I reckon definitely.
You think Kante?
I reckon maybe Kante. France is a good shout.
Good bet.
Portugal, maybe. I reckon Portugal will do alright.
So mine was I said Ruben Diaz and now Portugal. So possibly Ruben Diaz at Portugal's had a great season with Man City.
Yeah.
You would fancy maybe he's one of the lesser countries. If they win it, you would think that it's maybe through having a really good defence, something different. Also, in this fucking woke world that we live in, people like alternative views. So we'll say that Kante, Ruben Diaz, something different. I don't fancy big player, big name, personally. I feel that an outsider over that one. I can see for England, I can see something different. I really just hope he doesn't bottle it and doesn't play one of the humans. I mean, so before we
can't not play for.
Let's do that now.
How could he not play for?
For me, as long as England play, they've got to play Foden or Grealish. One of the two of them must start. Sancho, I think Sancho's one. I think Sancho's great. We probably don't watch enough of him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
we don't see enough of them. We've been in England. We don't watch loads of the German league.
Same with Belgium.
When I've seen him in the Champions League,
good young player there in Germany.
Was he?
So you can't win that playing every game for Dortmund and then not be a good player. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. We'll just like Foden's won it for Man City in England. So they're both.
How do you fit them all in?
Well, my team fits them all in. So. Who's your pick, Mikey? Then, if you had to hang your hat on something, what is your pick? Not necessarily making the most money, not for gambling purposes. What is your pick for the winner of the tournament and the player of the tournament? Just give us 2 names.
Well, I reckon France, looking at the squad, probably have to be favourites. And I reckon if they do win it, it'll be Kante or Mbappe.
Yeah, I could. Mbappe would be a big name.
The thing is with France, how do they fit all their players in the team?
Be Mbappe,
if the World Cup,
Mbappe, Benzema, and Griezmann up front.
They're not going to do that because at the World Cup it was obviously Giroud didn't score a goal every game.
Didn't have a shot on target.
Someone like that.
There was that stat. Didn't have a shot on target.
But obviously Giroud's gone, but he probably won't get a game this time.
No, so I think.
Just saying, new contract. Let's get an extension in his contract.
Who do I fancy? I haven't actually wrote anything down for this one. But I do think. Let's have a look at
the groups.
Let's have a look at the groups again for. I would fancy.
The thing is, everyone's writing off. Obviously, Spain never really done it since.
I'm gonna go with Belgium. I think Belgium. I don't know who they play in the next round. We're pleased with that, but for me, I think that Spain are in transition. I think France are really good.
Spain have been in transition for 8 years. Yeah. You cannot say that.
I don't think that Spain are very good. I don't think that they're there. I think I like Enrique as manager, but I just don't see it. I think Italy's very much in the same boat.
Italy, do not disrespect them lads.
I think Germany, it's not going to happen. Do you know what? I think actually, as much as it
do you know what you're thinking?
Portugal.
No, you're thinking it's coming home.
It's coming home. I think Portugal potentially in terms of players being at a peak. Actually, Portugal's not a bad shout.
Great squad.
Portugal's not a bad shout. Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo, João Felix, Ruben Diaz at centre half.
Cancelo.
Portugal have got a very good team, as much as it pains us to say it.
Maybe we're probably disrespecting like all the other teams we haven't spoke about, but. To be fair, it's going to be one of them here.
For me, I think even if I narrow it down even further, I'd be willing to go England, Belgium, Portugal or France would be my 4. Mikey, give a 4. Give a 4. We didn't plan, give a 4 and then move on.
On paper.
Any 4 you like, that would be my 4 people. England, Belgium, Portugal or France, and I would say in order, just for some reason I fancy Belgium looking at that group. And that will be mine. So, Mike, you go.
My type on paper: England, France, Italy. You can't. Italy, they're going to do alright, mate. Watch them flop. To be fair, Belgium, they're going to be alright. But I reckon Germany, you can't. They'll be alright. They'll be alright.
Who's your 4?
Italy, France, England, Belgium.
Right, so we're not that far apart really, so we've just switched Belgium for Portugal. Portugal for Italy.
Italy, mate, tell me now.
We're gonna, Mikey's very strong on Italy, we're gonna go with that.
Right, all group games.
Final predictions. Drawing what has no doubt been an epic episode to a close. Something that I want to be able to, hopefully people can screen record this and take the piss out when we get it wrong. We're going to give you our final predictions on England, where we think they're going to finish and what we think is going to happen. So we'll start at the beginning. We both said before, I think they're going to draw with Croatia. I think they'll beat Scotland.
No, I said they'll beat Croatia.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We're going to go. And then I think that they'll win. I think they'll probably get, for me, I do think that we'll win in the last 16. I think I can see we're just somehow getting through, particularly having a home advantage if that's the case, which I believe it is. And then we'll go from there. In fact, we've got the list up. We'll get it up. We'll tell you now. So, if England win the group, like I said before, they can play Portugal, France, Germany or Hungary, and it's at 5 p.m. at Wembley on June the 29th, which is a Tuesday. But if they finish second, they will play in Copenhagen, which is against Spain, Sweden, Poland or Slovakia. So in that sense, actually, home advantage might be better. So you could think of that would be an option. For me, I do think that we'll get past that round of 16. I don't know what it is. I can see we're getting.
Do you think well?
I would love to get to. I mean, a final would be fucking unreal, wouldn't it? I would love. I
just remember, like 2018.
2018. He has a good story for you. We were watching the semi-final, weren't we? While looking at flights to Russia at half-time of the Croatia game, and we're like, right, we need to go. It'll never happen again. We need to go. As you do, we've had a few beers and we went like, we need to go, won't we? And then full-time, Croatia turned and it's not coming. It was not coming.
But this summer, man.
But this summer, maybe.
Italians.
So my prediction. Fuck it, it's coming home. Ever the optimist. Mikey.
I reckon we should do well as long as he plays these attacking players.
Yeah.
Bad at the back, good up top. He won't play Grealish and Foden. Obviously, Mount, great player. He'll play every game.
Yeah.
But Grealish, I just don't understand. He has to play him. I think there'll be hell on if he doesn't play him.
I think Grealish is a fan favourite, isn't he?
Oh, maybe it makes things happen.
He's a fan.
Everyone's like been coming out like, obviously not comparing him to Gaza, but like same like flair, like 96, just like that's what you need.
He's a fan favourite.
And he makes things happen. It's exciting to watch. Like that's what you want to watch. You don't watch fucking Rice, Henderson, fucking.
It's always, and I've said this in lots of other podcast episodes for all the lads listening, the lads who are here purely for the gym, but I've said it all the time and it applies to everything in life. It's better to fall on your own sword. It's better to fail doing what you do best or to give it an actual go. And my biggest worry for England at this tournament is like what Mikey's saying, is that we'll fanny it, bottle it, and we'll not play the.
If you don't go for it.
If you don't go for it, what's the fucking point? Play Grealish, play Foden, play Belgium. Play our strongest team, back the youth team players, go attacking, give it a roll, and they couldn't reel back them 110%, but what we won't tolerate, what no one will want.
No one will tolerate, yeah, you're right.
Sterling, Rashford, the same fucking old shit.
I'm talking about, they just won't tolerate, like
defensive, not going for it, grinding out results, playing shit teams against what are effectively lesser footballing countries. We need to give it a go, and if we do that, he who dares wins. You never know, we might fucking do it. It's coming home.
It's coming home.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on, son. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. Whatever you've been listening or watching on, you know the drill. I mentioned in the break. Other than that, I hope that you have a fantastic Euros, have parties, get your mates around, social distance, go out, support your local, have lots of drinks, spread some of these footballing facts that we've given you today, and come back and no doubt give you a shit for these terrible tips that we've given you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing it. Or get rich. Thank you very much for listening and watching. That's been it. Oosh.
You've been listening to Aesthetically Trained, the podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and spread the word.